Google has made some rule changes to mobile game ads that may actually help gamers enjoy gaming. Wow, what an interesting idea. Did you like that? Wow.
Yeah, I like that. Wow.
Okay. So essentially, ads that can't be skipped after 15 seconds, ads that appear when you don't expect them to, and ads that appear in the middle of a level or before you even started the game will be banned. And more importantly, apps aimed at children will see even further scrutiny. As a mobile game aficionado myself, I can attest to a certain unfavorable ad experience in my own mobile gaming adventures. But how do these new rule changes affect us gamers and the developers? Does this mean less revenue for the dev teams? More creative ad placement that somehow circumvents the new rules? Or an overhaul on how they monetize their games? In this new version of our mobile gaming podcast, Nimble and I discuss this and so much more. So Nimble, what's your take on this Google versus mobile game ad news?
Well, honestly, I'm of course glad that we'll see less horrible ads. I mean, that's lovely, right? But
Yeah.
I also think Google is mostly, scrap that, probably only doing this because it can somehow help them financially. I mean, it's Google, right?
Good
It's
take,
a big company. Yeah. So I think the reason they're banning these ads is that they simply lead to less overall revenue. The advertisements, I mean. So imagine this. If players get scared away or end up uninstalling a game because they get bombarded with ads, neither the developer nor Google will earn any money from that player, right? And so if Google can see that in their analytics, like they can see all the stats, right, for most of the games out there on Google Play, they might be able to pick up on some general trends here and see that these types of ads, these specific types of ads that you mentioned in the intro, they actually do more harm than good. And so that might explain why they're then banning these ads now. And the ironic part is that this would help Google earn more money, but that also in turn means that it helps the developers earn more money. So it's actually good for both of those, and it could also be good for us players. I mean, it sounds like it would be great. So this is one of those rare cases, I think, where it's just a win-win-win.
I mean, yeah.
It's strange. Yeah.
You're kind of right when you think about it, because I'm over here thinking like, all right, so how is this going to affect gamers, right? And developers. And I've become accustomed to like certain ad placements. I mean, we're a mobile gaming channel, so we play a lot of mobile games. And I've gone as far as to like train myself when not to click something or when to click something. And if I'm being 100% honest, I rarely, if ever, download a game because of an ad I've seen inside of a game. I mean, that's just speaking for myself. But how many times do we wait for that 15, 20 seconds to be up to skip it, right? Or how many times do we like, oh, this game? And I've had mobile games where I try to click out of the ad and it won't let me, and it just takes me to the Google Play Store.
Yeah.
And that's a very unfavorable experience, right? Like, of course, you're like the average gamer. I have to continue playing the game because I'm doing a review, let's say. But the average person who's just like, oh, this game looks cool, and then they get bombarded with stuff, they're going to delete the game. So it does kind of make a win-win-win scenario happen here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've even had experiences where the ad took me directly to Google Play on its own. So the ad played, I did not click anything, and at the end of the ad, it took me to the Google Play page.
It must have read your mind or something. I don't know.
It must have read my mind.
It knew you wanted
I
to go
play
to
this
Google
game
Play.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah, this game looks
This
so
game-
cool.
This kids game, right?
Yeah.
It looks so cool. Hey.
This match 3,
No.
this terrible mobile game ad.
Yeah. No, but so we've all had those horrible experiences. I mean, you mentioned some. This was my example of the worst experience I've had, but I've definitely experienced those situations as well where you can't click the little X, or when you do, it still opens Google Play because it's a fake X inserted by the
fake
game developers
X,
or the ad
yes.
network.
Yeah.
Just horrible practices, right?
Yeah.
Horrible practices.
And then the biggest question is like, how is this going to hurt, let's say, the indie developers out there, though? Because we talked about win-win-win scenario, but maybe there is another side to this. Maybe it might hurt indie developers out there who are trying to look at how they're going to monetize their game. And are they going to start having to think differently, think outside the box? Like, what are some good ideas for these developers who kind of rely on these ads to earn revenue?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the most immediate issue that could come up for some indie developers is that they're trying to understand what Google actually means with these new changes. What are they gonna allow? What are they not gonna allow? And as an indie developer, as a small team, you can't spend forever on everything. You don't have a team of 10 people that can just look into this or whatever, right? You have to do so many things yourself. Maybe you're just not gonna place ads altogether, or maybe you just only go with incentivized ads, or something that you feel pretty sure that Google is still okay with. So that could lead lead to less revenue because of confusion, because of lack of proper information from Google, which wouldn't be the first time, by the way, that they haven't been that great, or that any big company hasn't been that great at delivering enough information to its users. It happens all the time. And so I think that could end up hurting indie developers if they remove the ads altogether. Now, on the flip side, frankly, from a consumer experience, that actually makes it even better if they start removing more ads. But ultimately, I would still rather see some ads and see some in-app purchases than I would have the game closed down if it's a game I really like. It's a fine line.
True story.
I get that. Yeah, I don't want to be bombarded with ads. It's a fine line, but I would rather see the indie developers be able to continue developing their game if it's a game I like.
And this started making me think of like the past or the history of mobile gaming, because mobile games have been around for 10 plus years at this point, so it actually has a history. And I'm old enough to remember, call me an old fart, when you would go onto a Play Store and you would see a huge amount of 99-cent games. I mean, that's how mobile gaming started, right? You would every game was 99 cents. What a game today that is considered a free-to-play game was actually a 99-cent game, let's say 10 years ago. So maybe we're going to see a revert back to that style. Not necessarily a premium game, a $5.99 or $9.99 game that's more of a full-fledged experience, but maybe you're going to get an endless runner game that instead of showing any ads or any monetization, loot boxes or anything like that, it's going to be, okay, 99 cents to purchase this game and have a good time and just play casually, let's say. I mean, if we revert back to that, then that's kind of how they'll make their revenue. I don't see that happening necessarily because I just think the marketplace isn't there for that. Gamers are so accustomed to either it being free to play or premium, nowhere kind of in between. But if we had an in between, that might kind of help these indie developers that are looking to monetize their games and earn some revenue from all that hard work.
Oh yeah, I've actually started to see more and more of that. I do feel like I've started to see that already. More indie developers making games where you can just buy a single in-app purchase, kind of like the 99 cents, right?
Yes,
it might be a bit more than 99 cents. Maybe it's $2.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. So they're free to try, but then you have to pay to unlock the full game. Or they have ads, but then you pay. There's just a single in-app purchase, which removes the ads. Stuff like that, which is almost the same as the good old 99 cents game, right? Because even if it has ads, there's still a way to remove them through a single in-app purchase.
Very true.
I'm quite okay with that. Actually, that's my preferred monetization method. I prefer that above a straight-up premium game because this way, at least I can download the game, I can take my time with it, figure out if I actually want that full experience, and then I can buy it, and then it turns into a premium game. So it's like, why would I even have a premium game in the first place? Why not just give me a trial? Which, by the way, if we go further back to the earlier PC gaming days, that's how that used to be. You got these small demos of games distributed on CDs.
Yep. I remember demos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if you bought some sort of not a newspaper, but like these magazines,
the magazine, PC game magazine, and
exactly.
Stuff, yeah.
Then you'd get a CD with lots of small demos of games. So I'm just saying we loved that back then. It was part of what helped PC gaming get to where it is today. So it's just my way of defending that practice of make the game free to try, give me a demo, and then let me buy the full version. Would love to see more of that. But I think the issue, though, is that some indie developers actually make more money off of ads these days. Don't know how you feel about that. I don't know if it's true, actually, but I think some games earn more off of the advertisements. So this could actually end up hurting them real bad.
Well, and then again, it can go into maybe they reorganize their ad placements. They try to find what really works best, where those ads are going to be or how they're presented. But sometimes these developers don't really have control of what ads are being shown either. I mean, like you said, they go to an outside company to outsource these ads to get into the game. I don't know how much say so they have of when it happens or when it doesn't.
Very little, if any.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, And the biggest thing that interests me too about this whole thing is like, okay, so yeah, the rules, they're vague, but they're not too vague, but they're there enough to tell us what's going on. The biggest thing is like, okay, how is this going to change our gaming habits? And will we even notice, like us as gamers playing mobile games, are we going to notice this change? Is it drastic enough to even notice what's going on? I'm very curious to like download a game that I played a couple months ago and see if like the ads are different in it or if they've been in different places. I know that's going to be really hard to tell unless I've recorded footage of these ads popping up, which we may have. But just seeing that change, how much will we notice? I don't even know if we're going to even notice it, honestly.
I think you're right. Actually, the individual play experience, like when you sit down and play a game, you might not even notice it. You probably
Yeah.
just forget about it. You probably
Yep.
just forget that it was worse back in the day. But overall, so I think overall, from the developer's perspective, they will be able to see a positive change. Hopefully, people continue playing for longer now that they don't get bombarded with ads. Hopefully, that's what will happen at least. But I think you're right. The individual play experience probably isn't gonna change that much. But this is still exciting news, though. I'm still really happy about Google making these changes. They should have made them long ago, but
Yep.
this is a good beginning of leading to something that is a better experience for us consumers.
All right, folks. Well, tell us what you guys think about these new rules changes and if it's going to affect you at all. We just want to thank you for watching and listening. Go check out some of the previous episodes in case you missed them, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.